Let's go. Getting ready, about to go live. You know we always have a good time, so count it down, make some noise. Chat is open. If you're here, let us know. Start the cheering. Let's have fun and start connecting. Your worries soon you'll be forgetting, 'cause you are here with us now. We are all friends. Sit back and relax, we can begin. Ready or not, here we go. We're all here, so let's start the show. Streaming is a journey. With every step we're always learning. So come with us, let's support each other. We can do everything all together. Ready or not, here we go. We're all here, so let's start the show. Somebody new, come and be inspired. The only thing required
Hello and welcome, everyone. Let's say hi. Lala is here, of course. Hi, Lala. Janet is here. We have Angelo here. Angelo for the first time here, so you get the confetti. And we have Keys here. Hi, Keys. I hope I don't forget anyone. Cheryl, hello. And yeah, if I forgot you, sorry, sorry, sorry. And before we start this today, we have some service announcements. So the first thing I'm very happy to say is that we have a new moderator as per now, and that is Keys. I'm making it right now. And so, Keys, welcome to moderating the channel. Keys is here. Every show he says hello to everyone, and it was totally overdue. And he said yes when I asked him, so that is fantastic. And then one final task before we really start is last week I talked with you all and you said, yeah, we should have a party and hang out together. So we will do that next week. So if you will be here and join me live here on screen, then type in the chat, I am in. And so I know that how many people will join me. And with that all out of the way, let's start this show today. My guest today is Bette Vargas. She has a channel called Crazy Sexy Menopause. What's that all about? Let's find out. Hi, Bette, and confetti for you as well.
Thank you. Hi, Marcus. How are
Hi.
you? Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's so nice to have you here. And yeah, let's jump right in. What is that crazy sexy menopause?
Crazy Sexy Menopause is my YouTube channel. It's also my website, and it's my business focused on teaching pre-peri, and postmenopausal women how to live vibrantly through my three keys of mindset, meals, and movement. So it's really about not embracing this new phase in your life, the new awakening that women have as they hit or go through the last third of their lives, and it's just about having fun. And so that's where I'm at. Listen, life isn't over. It's just your childbearing years are over. So that's it, and that's the time to just rock out and have some fun.
Oh, that sounds fabulous. Yeah. And yeah, I don't even know where to begin because so many interesting things to know about that. Of course, we will get into why menopause is your topic and some things about that. But first, let me ask you, why did you decide to do a YouTube channel and to start creating content around that topic?
Oh, that's a good question. I started my YouTube channel because when I started going through menopause, there was no one to talk to about it. It's kind of like a dirty little secret. And my mother died when I was 10, going on 11 years old. And so I didn't have a guide through that period of my life. And so when I had my daughters and they became premenopausal, I looked at them and I said, well, who is going to share with them what I didn't know? And who that person was me. And so I thought that, not only did my daughters not know, then there were probably other young ladies who didn't know what to do or who to talk to about this topic. And so I created the channel, and it initially I was going to start a podcast. And but right before the pandemic hit, Angelo, my husband, got involved in live streaming, and he said, "Oh, this is what we should do. We should do a live stream," and that's how it became Crazy Sexy Menopause on YouTube.
It's fantastic. Yeah. So live streaming part almost as an afterthought, an accident, and you get rolling into.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I did not want to be in front of the camera.
Okay.
I've spent my life behind the camera actually, and always behind the scenes. And so this is new for me.
Okay. But how was that transition? I feel like you embraced it and leaned into it, but was it difficult to do?
Well, what's interesting, I embraced my elementary school teacher. I taught elementary school and elementary and junior high school, actually. And so during that time, I had to be an actress, in front of these children to keep them engaged and excited about the content that they were learning. And so I figured, okay, let me just look at at this as a teaching experience, because I do feel that my spiritual gift is to teach. And so I've always felt that I have been destined to teach on a larger scale. And what larger scale than YouTube?
Yeah, perfect. But I think you're really. We talked at before we started, and you said, yeah, you're not a pro yet, but I think you're just so naturally good at it.
Oh,
I feel your
thank
energy
you.
and your joy, and but
Thank you.
yeah,
It's easy when it's something that you love.
yeah,
So I do. I love teaching people and just talking about my experiences, talking about what what I've been through, and whatever I learn, I share. And so that's where I'm at.
yeah, that's fantastic. And so when did you start with live streaming?
Oh my goodness, with live streaming pros. I
Okay.
started with and Angelo found live streaming pros actually. I was looking at podcasting, and so he found Luria on YouTube, and he said, "Hey, we should do this." So I was like, "Okay, yeah." So that's how we got involved. We did Lita, and actually, this is my third year with Lita, and there was a fear factor there, definitely, getting in front of the camera, because I'm not talking to other people, I'm talking to a camera. And so that was a little disconcerting initially, but when people began engaging with me, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. So that's kind of what got me a little more comfortable.
Yeah, great. And yeah, so you didn't need that much convincing, just a little notch to do it. Is that right? Or-
Yeah, well, once I got into it, I was like,
okay.
oh, what have I done?
Okay.
But I thought that same thing when I moved from Chicago, where I was born and raised, to New York. So I thought the same thing, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm here. Let's roll with it.
Okay. And yeah, it's such a positive outlook. And what does keep you going if you feel reluctant from time to time or nervous?
What keeps me going? I have Angelo one. I have accountability partners. I have people that ask me, how I'm doing. They ask me questions about menopause. I have social media, and so that, people will ask me about that. People want to work with me, and so that's what keeps me going. And knowing that people see the need, they know that there's a need, and they resonate with what I'm sharing. So that's really what keeps me going.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's so important because creating content is a pretty lonely thing. Of course, you get the community once you're out there, but all the things leading up to it, you're by yourself, and then you can have doubts and resistance, and then having like-minded people and accountability partners, and of course, Angelo, your husband, who is doing that with you. It's a really, really strong thing to have.
Yeah, it was really something because when we started, it was during the pandemic. So that was a time when people weren't going out, and I certainly wasn't going out, and so it was an opportunity for me to establish community on another level, and so it was really. It was a savior for me too, because I lost several family members uh, during the pandemic, and so it was not only a savior in the sense that I had the community, but it was cathartic in a way that I could actually express what I was feeling in a safe environment, and just have people who were supportive and empathetic, and not only empathetic but sympathetic with with what I was going through, and so it meant a lot. It really meant a lot. And during the course of Lita, I was able to kind of talk through that and get through those stages of grief that we that we must move through in order to get to the other side. So it was and then of course creating content, and which took the focus off of my the struggles that I was going through internally, and then I was able to focus on what I would be able to give to my community that I was establishing. So it was a wonderful period when I began this process. This is a journey.
Yeah, I love how you have to laugh when you say that. So it's almost like
true.
still I can't believe that I'm doing this.
I know.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my God.
Boom. Yeah, but yeah, losing several family members in a short amount of time, of course, that's a very heavy thing to go through. And
Yeah.
so you were able to share that with the community, or just with the safe space in Lida, or
Yeah, when going through Lita, there were the specific missions that we had to focus on each day, and so one builds on the other, and it was through that time where I felt going in that I was going to be all in, and so I'm not afraid of doing the work that is needed to move through different phases of life. And so I always feel that we each day is a new day. It's an opportunity for us to grow. It's an opportunity for us to give. It's an opportunity for us to be in gratitude. And so I looked at that experience, and not only the experience of Lita, but after Lita and EYR and the coaching that we had available to us, as an opportunity for me to express that and to get out so that I could move on, because I knew that I would not be able to give to others if I did not if I wasn't able to move through the things that I needed to move through in order to get to that rainbow. So and to get to every rainbow, you've got to get through the storm. And so that was a storm for me, and so now I'm just absolutely grateful for the LSP community and the coaches and everyone that has helped me, not only to get my videos out there, but to help me move through some things that I needed to move through in order to be able to share and to give to others authentically.
Fantastic. Yeah, and I think really in order to grow as a creator, you have to grow in life, and it goes
Yes.
hand in hand because if you create content and put yourself out there, you're also going out of your comfort zone, and then that in turn moves something else in your life, and it's all a big adventure. Yeah.
Yeah. And, I think that sometimes when people get to my age, they think that life is over or that, they can just cruise through. And, and I think, well, I'll be 69 this year. And so
Oh,
I think that, life is just beginning.
yeah.
I'm learning something new. I'm a newlywed. I mean, Angelo and I are, this will be our fourth year of marriage. And so funny that I should mention after we got married, all the pandemic happened.
Okay.
So we're like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Okay,
But
you made that just in time before the pandemic. Then.
yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes, because we were saying, oh, should we wait? And Angela was like, no, let's do it, and not knowing that the
Yeah.
next year would be a pandemic. So that was great. That was beautiful. In terms of what we were doing, but now that we have this life together, and we're creating content together, it's a beautiful thing to have not only to grow grow our marriage, but also to grow our business and to do it together. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, fantastic. And yeah, you said life is not over, and I think that specifically says something about you then, because cruising through, you could decide to do that, but you didn't, and that makes the difference.
And
And
and this is funny. And it's a tribute to Angelo as well, because while he married a menopausal woman. So he gets some kudos too.
okay, so yeah, let's dive into the topic then.
Yes.
And yeah, so for me it was I wanted to do live streaming, and then I had to figure out what do I want to talk about. And I feel with you it was the other way around. You had something to talk about, and you needed to find a way to do that. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. I felt that um, because people were clueless about what menopause was, or what menopause is, I felt that it was necessary for me to share that information, to share my experience and how I was able to manage my menopausal symptoms. And what I came up with um, was three keys, actually, through over the overarching umbrella of menopause are three keys that women really need to focus on in order to live life more vibrantly. And so those three keys are mindset, meals, and movement. And mindset is really coming to grips with the stage of life that we're in, and just being comfortable in this new body, understanding it, knowing what your symptoms are, becoming really focused on where we are, what this new body is doing, and so that is a complete mindset change, because if people like me were never overweight or never having health issues or anything like that, then all of a sudden your body is no longer familiar. That can play with your head. And so it's really about mindset. And then meals is what foods trigger like symptoms, hot flashes, anxiety, night sweats, and things of that nature. Focusing on which foods that you can eat and which foods that you may need to give up, which foods give you energy, which foods are going to make you sluggish and bloated. Knowing what those things are, it's it makes life and the experience a lot better. And then in combination with movement, is it's a it's like, whoop, okay, I love my life now. I'm becoming familiar with who this person is. I'm reacquainting myself with myself, and so that's an opportunity to like maybe not focus on the middle-age spread, but then the movement piece will help you to help the body to kind of contour in a different way, to not hold on to weight, not to think that expanding belly is something that we need to that is with us for the rest of our lives. And so it's being able to understand what's going on with our body, what's happening when our estrogen levels decrease, and how we're going to move forward in this within this process. And so that's what I talk about, and I share my experiences.
Great. And Anna says, such a real topic. Hot flashes are real. Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Okay.
knowing what happens during a hot flush is really and what triggers them is really important, because it makes life so much better, knowing that if there's a certain food that you consume that's going to trigger a hot flash or a night sweat, knowing that if I'm not cool and composed, that is going to ignite a hot flash. And so it's these types of things that once you realize what's happening to your body, or once you realize what triggers there are, then you can move forward with how to alleviate these bouts of discomfort, and then live more vibrantly, because they become less and less.
Yeah. And Anna says for her it's coffee. And yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
coffee and sugar and alcohol. And, I've had people tell me, oh, I don't want to give up my alcohol. And I'm like, okay, well, just be content with having hot flashes and night sweats.
Okay. Yeah, but uh, you said it's not talked about enough, and yeah, I think that's totally true. Is it? But why is it? Is it still taboo, or is it just? What's the reason?
I think I think it is still a little taboo. I think, although that has been changing, because there are many celebrities who are in this particular age group that are speaking out about it, and so now it's getting some traction in the media. From what I know, that I think that Europe and more people in London specifically were talking about menopause before before people in the United States. And I think that the mindset and the Western mindset has to do with youth. It's focused on youth. It's focused on how can I remain young and vibrant, and all these things. aging is a fact of life. We are going to age. No one gets out of this life alive. And so it's really about, coming to grips with, okay, this is the reality. If I live long enough, then I'm going to get old. And so with that, how you take care of yourself determines how you look and how you feel as you age. And so that is a part of the mindset. If you're not thinking in terms of your body changing, if you're not thinking in terms of what to do and how to manage your life, your menopausal symptoms, then it's going to be what's a brain fog. It's going to be it's going to be a time in your life where it's going to be a challenge. It's
Yeah.
just going to be a challenge to deal with it. And so that's where I try to get people to think, okay, look, it's a part of life. You're not dead. Things are going, you still have more life to live. And why not focus on being healthy, living more vibrantly, focusing on the things that you can give to the world, mentoring young people, just traveling the world, just what getting married, getting divorced. It's just,
All the things.
exactly.
Yeah.
Do the things that make you happy. Do the things
Yeah.
that make you happy, because that is what makes life worth living. I also share that when we live our lives, we should live our lives like children. Children eat when they're hungry, they play all day, they have fun, they sleep when they're tired. It's these types of things that we need to focus on, instead of oh my gosh, being stressed out because life is getting us down, or politics, or whatever is happening in our particular lives. We just
Yeah.
enjoy it, because when we are worried, or worried, it ages you. It works on the body internally. Anger is something that festers in the body and manifests as illness on the physical level. And so, meditate, pray, do some spiritual practice, exercise, eat well. These are the things that are going to keep us young. And my goal is I have 4 grandchildren, and my goal is to be able to hang with them. If they want to play, if my 18-year-old grandson wants to play basketball, I want to play basketball too.
Great. Yeah, and I think all these things you say, they also apply if you have menopause or not. They're true nevertheless.
Exactly.
Yeah, just good
Exactly.
practice and yeah,
And that's where premenopause comes in, because what I want women who are not in menopause to know, that it's coming, and to just be prepared. The more prepared you are for this phase of life, the better off you'll be. So I think that some of the concerns, or some of the symptoms that are associated with menopause, I didn't have for a long time, because I led my life in such a way that that I was healthy. I've been a vegan for over 45 years. I'm a personal trainer. I've been in fitness all of my life, actually, and a personal trainer for over 20 years, and a health coach. And so I do the research. So I'm not one of these influencers that is like, okay, I see an exercise on YouTube and I'm going to do that and post it for somebody else. I have done the research. I know what works. And so I have a library of books and education that I'm constantly referring to. So this is how I've lived my life. And I watch what I put in, the foods that I put in my body. And, I've raised my children this way. And so it's something that I know when I became, when I started going through menopause, it wasn't a time where I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening to me? I did ask that question, but it wasn't in a way that the normal symptoms of menopause are presenting with most people. So it wasn't until my late 50s that I actually had the had went through was postmenopausal. So it's been a journey. It's been a long journey, but it hasn't been a rough one, and it hasn't been a situation where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't handle this. This is so unbearable that I'm feeling like my life is over. It was never like that, and I really do attribute that to my mindset, being happy, being physically fit, and watching what I consume, and having a good spiritual practice.
Absolutely, and it's clearly coming through that just that the joy you feel for life, and how you go in and do things, and yeah, as, because if I hear, yeah, don't eat this, don't eat that, no alcohol, and it almost sounds, if I just without context, it would sound like, oh, where is the fun in that? But when I see you, you have fun for 2 or 3 people in your life, probably.
I bring the party.
Yeah.
But I do, and I think that for a long time, I never felt that alcohol was a something that I needed to have a good time. That was never something that I enjoyed, and that's probably because my parents didn't drink, and not no. Actually, my parents didn't drink, my grandparents didn't drink. So alcohol was not in the household. And so it wasn't anything that I became accustomed to. And so when I did taste it in college, it wasn't it didn't give me a good feeling, and so that was probably steered me away from alcohol. So I think that a lot of the another brain fog,
Yeah.
a lot of the what am I trying to say? The
Yeah, so we can let it go.
I'm
This song.
trying to think. I'm trying to think. Wait.
Okay.
It's a lot of the habits.
Okay.
Habits. That's what it is. A lot of the habits that most people have. I didn't have those.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's very true. You can absolutely have a fabulous time without any alcohol, but you maybe need to just lean into it, because alcohol helps you to to slide into
Well,
that.
And also too, as I mentioned that my diet was, I embraced a vegan lifestyle very early in my life, and the reason why was because so many of my family members, other family members, had lifestyle related diseases, or they transitioned very early in life. I mean,
Mm,
my there were so many members of my family that died before the age of 40,
yeah,
that I have two sisters, and we were holding our breath because we were wondering, well, will we be next? And so I decided that that was just not going to be my reality. I was going to eat healthy. I raised my children that way. And I have outlived a lot of my family members simply because I embraced a healthier lifestyle.
yeah, and still with all the fun to be had, still there, and so that
Yes,
I
I
think
bring the
that's
party.
key. Yeah, and I think that's really key because if you do it in a way where it's just I have to, then what is the yeah, it's not doesn't make
Mhm.
sense. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and
Yeah.
so menopause. Now I could say I'm a man. What does it concern me? But I think you have an answer to that.
I do, absolutely. Because if you have a woman in your life, then you should be concerned about menopause, be it a sister, a mother, a grandmother, an aunt, a girlfriend, significant other, whomever. She is going to at some point in her life be on the menopause spectrum, whether it's premenopause, perimenopause, or postmenopause. She will have that experience. And premenopause, she's going to be in puberty. And so women are on some level in this on the spectrum for their entire life. And so I ask men to be compassionate with the women in their lives, and know that, saying she's just emotional, it's not productive. It's insensitive to say those types of things. So embracing her as the person that she is and the woman that she is becoming, and giving her some grace in terms of what it is that she could be going through, being sympathetic, lending an ear, listening instead of trying to fix things. It's all very helpful in terms of helping a woman to transition through this phase with as much ease and grace as possible, because there are times women don't even understand. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what's happening to their bodies, and until she knows that there's something that this could possibly be it, she doesn't know. And there are times when she may think, well, what's going on with me? Am I going crazy? What's happening to my body? What's happening to me? And so men can just be a little, be compassionate, and not be, just blow it off as she's just being hormonal.
Yeah, and once again, good advice in general. And I
Yes.
was just thinking, when did it ever be a good idea to say to someone, "Yeah, you're just emotional right now"? I think it
Exactly.
doesn't
Exactly.
work. Yeah.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. And so, not I mean, we have gotten to a point now where people are just so frivolous in terms of their conversation and the things that they say, and thinking that there's no filter in terms of having some decorum with what it is that with their conversations. And so it's like, just put a filter on it, have some compassion,
Yeah,
say, just, think before you speak, say something nice. My grandmother used to say, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So
very
just
good
shake your
point.
head, just shake your head and say, yes,
Yeah.
okay, ask the question, how's that working for you?
So okay, I hear a lot can be handled also just with common sense then. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And Janet is saying that is so true, Betty. I thought I was dying. So that is the most dramatic
Yes.
thing there. Okay.
Exactly, exactly. It really, and when you let me just explain to you what a hot flash feels like to a woman when, or a hot flash and a night sweat. For instance, a hot flash is like a rushing sensation that feels like your body is literally on fire from the inside. So, and it just rushes up from the lower body all the way up to your head. It feels like you are even if you're in the sun for a period of time and the sun is burnt, you get sunburned or anything like that, however that heat feels to you, it's worse. It's 1,000 times worse than that. And even though it lasts for a few seconds to maybe 5 minutes, it is the most excruciating feeling that a person could ever feel. And the heat is literally radiates off of your body. I mean, I could be sitting next to someone or laying next to my husband, and the heat, he has to literally back away because the heat that is emanating from my body it feels, he can feel it. And he'll sometimes want to warm himself up.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's so cold. Couldn't
Because
couldn't you
my
produce
heat.
a hot flash for me? Okay. Great.
But by the same
Yeah.
token, is that he has to go to bed under several comforters and covers and a hat and robe and everything, and the window is open, because it's so hot,
Okay.
because he wants me to be comfortable. So that is, so it's a give and a take, and I appreciate him for not fussing about it and not grumbling about the fact that he has to sleep in the cold, which is something he doesn't relish. But he wants me to be comfortable
Yeah.
because he sees how uncomfortable that I can be, when I'm having a hot flash or a night
Okay.
sweat. So
Yeah, and
so
I
I'm,
think
I'm blessed.
that could be easily dealt with by putting a warmer blanket for the husband and things like that.
Right.
But really the important part I just realized now is if you really have to know about this, and if not, then it is not only so uncomfortable but really scary, and if you're
Yeah.
thinking you're dying, then that is pretty traumatic, and that could
Yeah,
all
it
be
is.
avoided by just knowing what's going on. So
Yeah. So, and yeah, and so my advice to women is to have a conversation with your significant other and let them know what you're going through, and
Yeah.
so that they can be aware, because they don't know, they have no idea. And so I'm really grateful that I have a partner that really is understanding that what I'm going through is not, I'm not making it up. And so there are times when he'll say, "Okay, I understand you're just menopausal," and then I'm like, "Oh no, I'm not menopausal."
Just grumpy for another reason today. Okay.
And then, there are times when I with regard to nutrition, I'm a recovering sugar addict. And so I love sweets, and so does Angelo, so and there are things that I haven't had in a long time, like, and things that he still enjoys. And so he doesn't want to bring them in the house because it's not something that I consume. But
Okay.
then, so bread, for instance, bread makes me bloated. And so if I am, I can't resist it. I
Okay.
love bread. And so I can't resist it. So if he brings it in the house, I'm going to eat it. And then I get bloated. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm bloated and I can't fit my clothes. And so then he shares with me, okay, well, I'm just not going to bring it in the house. And so I appreciate him, and his compassion for
Yeah.
me and what I'm going through, and how these types of foods are triggers for me and how they make me feel. And so he will either eat it outside, or he won't bring it in the house.
Or maybe has a secret space where the bread is hidden.
Well, you know what? He does keep candy in the glove
Yeah.
compartment of the car.
Yeah.
Candy and cookies.
Okay. Oh, she's out. Take out the bread. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
but
but I'm
mhm.
grateful for him.
Yeah, and I think life is just so much easier if you can laugh about things, just like you do.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Because otherwise, we have too much of that negative cortisol energy, which then exacerbates all the other things and makes us not happy. So, when we're laughing, when we're working out, when we're doing things that we enjoy, the it makes life a lot better. And laughter is good medicine.
absolutely. And just yeah, just having fun, and it helps if times get difficult. Absolutely. So
Hmm.
yeah, now we talked a lot about the working of menopause. Now back to your content. You said it's also a business you're building, and how did you set that up to have a business with it?
Well, it was a natural transition for me because, as I said, I was a personal trainer, and had been doing that, and I established that as a business. And from there, because I wanted to share with people, well, let me just backtrack and say, as a personal trainer, speaking to people about nutrition is out of our scope of practice. A
You're freezing up a bit now, Betty.
And so I went back to school. Okay, okay. So I'm just going to keep talking.
Yeah, we
I'm not
try. Yeah.
exactly sure why my Wi-Fi is off, but when it'll come back. But anyway, as a personal trainer, I focused on teaching people how to take care of their bodies. And then once I wanted to share about nutrition, and when I did that, went back to school, became a health coach with a focus on nutrition. And so I started doing that and had a website and all of that. And then um, be, I social media became a thing, and I felt like this is a natural progression, and for me to reach more and more people. And actually, um, I started doing online personal training before there was social media, and I was designing programs for people to take to the gym, and overweight people who did not feel comfortable in a gym environment. And so I was designing workouts for them. And then, as I said before, the pandemic hit, and we started moving towards online content on social media, YouTube specifically. So I've kind of been doing this for a long time, but now this is a new environment for me. I'm always trying um, to reinvent myself, and so this is another iteration of Betty Vargas.
Fantastic. Yeah, and yeah, I think it's so important to get this message out there and build awareness. And of course, with social media, it's much more scalable. And
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And so I'm also, this is my gym behind me. And so I think I did a Lita where I should did a showed people around my gym and all of the little equipment that I have. And actually I was training people out of my home in New York, and I had all kinds of equipment. I had the boxing bag and the squat rack, and the universal gym, and treadmill and everything. And I downsized when I moved uh, from Arizona and to New York. And so I'm now doing this type of home workouts, which are, they're pretty cool. People like them. They're quick. And that's another thing with menopause, is that you find um, that we don't have to do long, drawn out workouts for 2 hours, 3 hours. It's not necessary. Actually, I have never done a workout over an hour, because it's just, to me, it doesn't make sense. It's too much. And so, definitely now, as a with the work that I'm doing now, and as a postmenopausal woman, I see that it's, I don't need that much exercise
okay,
to reach my goals, to maintain my goals.
perfect. So yeah, I put all the links to find Betty down in the description. There is the YouTube, of course, and the website and all the social medias. So go check that out. And if someone wants to know more, of course, YouTube is a good place to start. But do you also offer personal consultations or something like that?
I absolutely do. Betty at bettyvargas.com. Oh, no,
Oh,
no, I stopped that one. Betty at
okay,
crazysexymenopause.com.
okay. So
Betty at crazysexymenopause.com.
crazysexymenopause.com. So
Yes.
so if someone thinks I need to go a little deeper, I think for me as the role of the supportive man, I now got some of the framework, and when the time comes that it's really needed, I can dive deeper. But
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. Subscribe.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, that's right. You were
I
one of my first subscribers.
Yeah, see, and
So thank you. Thank you very much.
oh no, it's a joy to watch you, and if I watch you, it's not only for me to learn about menopause, but also how does Betty do the life, and how does there's always something to learn,
Oh,
and
oh, thank
yeah,
you. Thank you very
absolutely.
much. I'm learning. I'm learning.
Yeah, but we always can learn from each other because they're always
Yes.
yeah, and it's also about trying out new things, especially I think for creators that are beginning and building an audience. There is less to lose if you're trying something that doesn't work, and so that's a good phase to really experiment and yeah.
Yes, yes. It was so funny because my very first live stream, was totally prepared for no one to show up, and I would be talking to myself, and people showed up.
Oh,
I was like,
great!
I was like, oh my gosh,
And you didn't prepare for success.
I
Yeah,
did, I did,
yeah,
and you
yeah.
were there.
Okay, yeah, yeah. We always sometimes we're so afraid about what can go wrong that we're not really ready if things just go right. And yeah.
Yes, yes, but I was really grateful for you because you are a familiar face for me. So
Okay, yeah,
I'm
great.
I'm I'm thanking you. I really appreciate you watching my growth, and I appreciate you for having me here today.
Yeah, it was so great to talk with you. Thank you so much for coming. And I hope everyone learned a bunch about menopause. And I think there's just really some nuggets that are just in general life can use it as a woman or as a
Yes.
man. And yeah,
Make it easy.
yeah, and have fun, be positive, and that's what you really are living and bringing out into the world. So thank
Isn't
you.
that what we all want to be, is to
Yeah,
be happy?
absolutely. So thank you so much, and thank everyone for watching. And we will be back next week. Until then, bye.
Thank you.